Last time on Anime Balls Deep, you managed to learn Japanese, move to Japan, begin to learn how to draw manga before eventually giving up on hiring an illustrator. Now you have your own gem of an idea ready to be transformed into a manga, but you are unsure of how you will do this. Publishing manga with the protagonist. Before I continue the tutorial, yes, this is a collab, and based off the fact you guys didn't seem to hate me that much last time around, I'm back. Now on to the tutorial. Even though you might have a great idea and the pieces to turn it into something tangible, that doesn't mean you will be able to get your work published. It doesn't matter how awesome your idea is if you can't prove to potential publishers that it has an audience and you can make consistent content. So that is exactly what you will need to do next. The best way to do this is to promote your work. You are not a big company, and you definitely don't have enough money to create your advertising campaign. Although you can try to sell your work at conventions, it would be very expensive to do this, and it most likely won't get you the exposure you are looking for. Instead, I recommend posting your work to online forums, which will not only spread your work more cost effectively and efficiently, but it will also give you a lot of feedback. And because this is the internet, people will give you their blunt, honest opinion. It is important to distinguish valid criticism from baseless hate and or unproductive comments. Although everyone on the internet will claim to be a level 99 wizard sniper with over 300 confirmed kills, you have to know that this isn't true. At the end of the day, this is your work, albeit a generic and uninspired work, but it is still definitely yours. Another great way to advertise your work and potentially get paid by doing it is through using the site Tapastic.com. Tapastic is a popular self-publishing platform for comic creators. Think of it as YouTube, except instead of posting videos, you publish comics. And just like YouTube, you are able to be paid through an ad revenue system. Tapastic currently has 16,097 creators publishing on the website, and it has been growing rapidly, so there is definitely an audience for your work. After you've garnered a large enough reputation and some experience publishing, you might want to start messaging big publishing studios to see if they're interested in your work. But trying to publish your work in this manner is still a very unlikely way for you to get anywhere. There are far too many applications constantly being submitted to these studios, and you'll be lucky if they even see your submission. The main reason I recommended advertising your work and gaining experience is because it will help you prepare for your most realistic shot at getting your manga published, and that is by entering a contest. Winning or placing well in any of these manga competitions could lead you to getting your work published and or increase your credibility so that you can try to get published somewhere else. Although each competition has different requirements, most require you to create what is known as a one-shot, which is a standalone story that is normally between 15 to 60 pages. The story isn't made to have a continuation, and it should be able to set up the world and type of story it is trying to tell while being engaging and entertaining. One-shots can be eventually turned into full-length manga series, such as with what happened with popular mangas such as Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, but mainly a one-shot serves as a way to quickly evaluate the skill and potential of an author. Since Shonen Jump is the best-selling manga publisher, your goal is to obviously get your manga published there. Luckily, the story you are making is already targeted towards Shonen Jump's young male demographic. An effective one-shot will be unique and memorable enough to stay in a reader's mind after they have read it. To achieve this, the story should be easily comprehensible to a wide audience. Telling your entire story or being overly complex is not the goal of a one-shot, but instead to have readers be interested enough to read more. If your readers are confused as to what is going on, it doesn't matter how much potential your story has. It is also important to remember that your one-shot has a very large chance of never getting a continuation. So if your one-shot has a slow start that fails to be engaging, the story past that point might never be given a chance to develop. In addition to an engaging, concise story, your characters should each have interesting personalities and designs that make them easily distinguishable. By this point, you should be feeling pretty happy about the story you chose to make, as its plot is simplistic and engaging, and the character designs are definitely unique. I mean, the characters even have different hair colors. So submit your work and tell me how it goes. Well, I already know you will win, as you followed my flawless teaching, so just report back to me after you've won.
A few moments later.
Great job! Your one-shot was published in Shonen Jump and its reception was so good that they want you to make it into a full-blown manga. Well, if you thought the work up until this point was fun, then get ready for the fun life of being a mangaka. Since you are a newcomer, you will almost assuredly be publishing chapters weekly, as your manga needs to stay relevant and popular if it isn't going to be dropped. This means you can look forward to many sleepless nights and a schedule that might look a little something like this. Although you might be able to afford one assistant to work with and have an editor to help guide you, being a mangaka is very work-intensive and time-consuming. This isn't helped when the discrepancy in pay is as large as it is for mangaka. Mangaka are normally paid by the page, and the amount you get per page depends on the popularity of your work. If you are an established top-end mangaka, you might get $100 US per page, and if you are someone new, you might get $10 US per page. It all just depends on popularity. According to an article published through Yukasei Media, in 2009, the average royalties earned from the top 100 mangaka of that year were about 70 million yen, which is around $900,000 US. but the remaining 5,200 mangaka from that year averaged 2.8 million yen, which is around $35,000 US a year. There are also mangakas such as Oda, the creator of One Piece, who've earned up to 2 billion yen a year, 1.29 billion of which came solely from the manga, which equates to $24 and $15.5 million US respectively. So maybe that will inspire you to hopefully live the luxurious lives the most popular mangaka live. Oh wait, their lives aren't that great either. Let me read to you what Oda described his usual day to be like in 2015. Wake up at 5 AM, start working, continue working through the day, only taking breaks for things like eating. Go to bed at 2 AM. Monday through Wednesday was for layout planning and character dialogue, Thursday through Saturday was for drawing and inking, and Sunday was for coloring and other tasks. Granted, nowadays he's been forced to take weekly breaks every 3 to 5 chapters, but that is still a very crazy schedule. It goes needless to say that Oda isn't the only one that has incurred problems from being a mangaka. The creator of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, Yoshihiro Togashi, has become notorious for constantly taking hiatuses from his work, due to all the mental and physical stress that being a mangaka has caused him. I could list other examples, but you probably get the point by now that being a mangaka is not all fun and games. But even so, you are determined to continue the grind, so that you can get your work made into an anime. You work and your manga is hitting the top of the charts. So what do you do now? Well, to be honest, you wait. Making an anime is no small task, and because of this, most of the decisions to try to get a show made into an anime are done by the producer of your publishing company. The producer will obviously inform you that he/she is interested in turning your work into an anime, and see if you are okay with that. After this point, you really just have to hope that your producer and the production committee are cooperative. Although technically mangaka usually have the last word on major decisions with the work, the degree of involvement between an author and the production team varies heavily. Some mangaka are too focused on their work to care about the adaptation, and some producers are too focused on making as much money as possible to respect all the wishes of the mangaka. All you can really do is present your wishes and hope that everyone else is on board. Hey, I know you've always wanted an anime adaptation, and after some hard work, I finally managed to get in contact with a studio that will suit your needs. The studio that will be making your anime is Toei Animation. Well, that was quite the long tutorial, but I hope you learned a bit or two about how difficult it is to have your idea turned into an anime. If for some reason you watched part 2 of this video first and weren't clued into the fact this was a continuation by the intro, then go watch part 1. If this is the first time you are hearing my voice, well then you are in the majority, as Adil and Yusuf's channel is order of magnitudes bigger than mine. But thanks for watching this video through to the end. And if I was to your liking, then subscribe if you would be so kind, to ensure you don't miss out on any of my future content. Oh, and if you are somehow subscribed to me and not Anime Balls Deep, then I recommend you go ahead and do that as well. This has been The Protagonist, and the plot demands that I leave. See you characters later.